Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today? This is the inaugural first edition, first episode of something that will likely become, I don't know, hopefully a multi part series every week. This is the Nothing But Good News episode. This came to me over the weekend when I was looking at my goals for my last period, starting new ones, and I just felt rotten, right? We have had a rough 2020. I like what we're doing. I like the financial news, but I just felt horrible. So, one of the things that I knew I wanted to do is I wanted to put out some more positive things. So, to do that, we are going to do this Nothing But Good News series, and I would love to hear from you. My envision for this series is the stuff we talk about, the stories we share, and yes, even the possible interviews that we do, is I hope a lot of this is sponsored by my audience. The folks that are watching this, you may come across articles, feel good stories. Please, please, please send them over. This first episode really was put together. It's a little bit harder than you would think to find some feel good stories. It's that that should say something. So this one really came from a website called goodnewsnetwork.org. And again, my hope for this is the stories that we talk about and the interviews that we have come from my audience. But let's get started. Did you know 30 years ago today, so June 1st, 1990, gosh, wow, I just graduated high school, 1990. Crazy. Anyways, the Cold War between the United States and Russia was over. Mikhail Gorbachev and George H.W. Bush signed papers putting it behind us, and that was a big moment. That was a big deal to finally get that behind us. I remember in grade school doing drills just in case. And to have that signed 30 years ago, something we don't really talk about much, is definitely a good thing to talk about. Next up, a feel good story, a story that just has to put a smile on your face. A 7 year old in Raleigh, North Carolina, named Curtis Rogers, felt terrible for his babysitter slash nanny, 17-year-old Rachel Chapman. Like lots of high school seniors, Rachel Chapman's senior prom was canceled. And again, 7-year-old Curtis Rogers felt terrible for her. So he and his family went above and beyond and did a makeshift backyard prom for Rachel Chapman. Full on prom invitation, dance, pictures, tuxedo. Again, Curtis Rogers, 7 years old. Nice job, young man. That's thinking about the rest of us, and I'm sure Rachel Chapman will remember that forever. Very nice job, Curtis. I'm very proud of you. Next up, something published in Nature, of all places. There's something that Hong Kong and U.S. engineers are working on, and I'm trying really hard. I see. Oh, that's funny. The Hong Kong and U.S. engineers. Sorry, a little comment caught my attention. They are developing something they are calling the Bionic Eye. They envision replicating or bringing sight to potentially 285 million blind people by basically copying what our retina does. It's not out yet, but to feel that these engineers, again from Hong Kong and the United States, are tackling such a big idea is again pretty heartwarming. In our final story of the day, again, one of those stories that we will celebrate on this feel good series. 103-year-old grandmother who beat COVID. First thing she is doing is she grabbed a Bud Light, and yes, our 103-year-old grandma pounded that Bud Light to celebrate beating our health or this COVID thing. So again, these feel good stories, these positive things, that's all we're going to talk about on this series. It will likely be done in the afternoons when they fit my schedule. We'll still do the financial news. We'll still go over the whole humdrum things in the morning. That's just 7:30. That's what we're doing. I'm up at 6. But we're going to do these feel good stories because I want to smile more. I think you want to smile more. And again, if you come across a story, put the link in one of the comments, or if you have my number, text it to me or email me. But again, if you have a link, just put it in a comment. Tell me what the story's about, and we will do these as we collect good stories. Again, 30 years ago today, the Cold War's over. 7-year-old puts on a backyard prom for his babysitter. The Bionic Eye is something they are going after. And the feisty 103-year-old grandma pounds a Bud Light. That just made me smile. All right, everybody, that's what I have for today. This is the first Feel Good Story series. We're going to do more of these. Let's smile. Let's celebrate. Let's have some fun. Take care of yourself. Bye.